What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And if you don't know who I am, I run a Canadian clothing company called K-Bud that's doing well into the six figures in sales. So I help clothing brands like yours get really good results. And in this video here, I want to talk to you about why 99.99% of clothing brands that start up never get to the point where they're making $5,000 or $10,000 a month with their brand. The reason for this, and what I'm going to get into in this video, is because they haven't created what I like to call a perfect storm for their brand. There's always something that seems to be missing, and I want to get into this. I want to sort of help you realize what this is for your own clothing brand so that you can correct it and get amazing results. Here it is. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at Design Crowd. If designs are something that you struggle with, I really recommend that you try them out. You post a project on there, designers from all around the world are going to compete for your project. You choose the winner, then you get that design plus revisions. I made all 3 of these designs through Design Crowd. They sell like fire on my website. If you're interested, head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn about the special offer that I have for you, or just use the discount code apparel when you post a project on Design Crowd. This is what's wrong with most clothing brands that blossom into the world. What's wrong with most clothing brands, and I've done hundreds of brand reviews at this point, and I've noticed a pattern here, is that it's very rare to find one single clothing brand owner that starts up a brand that has all of the strengths that they need and all of the skills that they need to really make their clothing brand work. So what this looks like is maybe you were the kid in school that was like the super artsy kid who was really talented at designing things, drawing things, painting things, always came naturally to you. It's like a natural skill set. Well, what happens a lot of times when that type of person tries to grow a clothing brand is their product quality is like 10 out of 10, right? 11 out of 10. It's beautiful. But there's so many different components to growing a clothing brand. You can't just be a designer and create a successful clothing brand. You need to be good at inventory management, business management in general. You need to understand how to work Shopify, how to work the back end of Facebook ads, and handle all the marketing for your brand. And so there's another side of this where maybe you weren't the designer guy and maybe you just have sort of a focused psychology where you understand niche markets. You know what they look like, so you're able to create a killer brand concept that goes perfectly with a particular audience, but you're lacking that design side, you're lacking the arts side, and you're lacking the ability to design a website that people really resonate with. Even though you have that other side of the business figured out, you're missing that other side. And it's really rare to find one clothing brand owner that's starting up their brand that has enough of the right strengths to create a perfect storm where they've got everything taken care of and everything becomes really appealing to their audience. So first of all here, I think it's really important for the clothing brand owner to know their strengths. So ask yourself right now, honestly, as lame as this might be, what areas of growing my brand am I really best at? Am I the designer type? Am I the psychology guy? Am I really good with Facebook ads and maybe crunching data and things like that? I'm gonna get a little vulnerable with you here and share some of my strengths and my weaknesses within my own clothing brand. When it comes to my brand, by far, my biggest strength is the psychology aspect, understanding how to create a product for a market and just create a brand that really appeals to a particular identity, that type of thing. So sort of the broader perspective, that's my wheelhouse. My weakness is managing inventory, managing orders going in and out. And that's also why I partnered with my friend's company to handle all of the fulfillment for my brand so that I can focus on the areas that I'm good at. And his team that's really good at what they do, they're gonna make sure that that other part of my business is really taken care of as well. Now, I really recommend if you're just starting up your clothing brand that you try your best to learn every single aspect of your clothing brand on your own at first before outsourcing it to other people. I recommend learning how to do design, learning how to build your website, learning how to set up the Facebook ads and all of that stuff so that you can get not only an understanding of what your strengths are, what you're good at and what you're not good at, but at least by knowing the bare minimum of these things, when you do go to outsource something like your marketing or, I don't know, your fulfillment, all of these things, you'll know at least enough to tell if somebody's doing a good job or not. Now let's really think about the customer's experience for a second. As much as we want to be these super successful clothing brand owners, and that's basically what this whole channel's been built on, You're not going to be able to do that unless you provide an amazing experience for your customer and unless you're creating a product that they truly want. And when it comes to what makes a clothing brand successful, what makes people really want it, what makes people really want to buy your brand, is it's where all of these little aspects of your brand come together in perfect harmony. So the designs of your clothing are amazing. The designs are also tied to a brand concept that makes sense. You've also created credibility for your brand, so it's professional looking, and your website's really taken care of, and there's not a lot of mistakes. And even those 4 just different areas that I mentioned all have different sort of skill sets that you need as an entrepreneur in order to put them in place and make them work for your brand. And so, like I said, these are things that you want to try your best to do at the very beginning, because who knows, maybe you do have strengths in all of these places enough that you can make this work for your brand. You can start getting orders for your brand and you can make this all flourish. But I think that at a certain point, you will likely realize that you're not perfect. You're not, there's certain areas that other people would be able to do better than you that would be worth delegating. And through going through that fire on your own as a clothing brand owner at first and learning all those things, when you do really get your clothing brand to the point where it's moving forward, then you can look and say, okay, I've got a few orders rolling in now. Maybe I can, get this area of my brand better by getting this person in to help me. And when you do that, then you're really helping to shape that perfect storm that's really going to allow you to make way more sales for your brand. So to circle back here and really drill in the point of this video, why 99.9% of brands fail is because they're unable to create a perfect storm where all of the important parts of their brand are mastered. They've mastered one single area. Maybe it's design. Maybe it's they're really good at cutting their costs. But even though they're really good at cutting their costs and getting cheaper products, they're not very good at design work, at creating Facebook ads and doing social media marketing. And there's all these skills that need to come together. So when you're looking at your brand, maybe you're focusing a little too much on your strengths if you're just getting started, if things aren't working. And you need to look at these other areas, these other skills that you can build up to really level it all out so that your brand is coming together and your customer experience is a really great one. If you got a lot of value out of this video, please hit the like button for me and let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. And if you haven't already, check out my free clothing brand marketing masterclass. All you have to do to get access is go to apparelsuccess.com/masterclass. You can watch the whole thing for free. And if you made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have for Apparel Success. There's a link in the description. Follow that link, join us in the group, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.